country that is well known for its diversity is located in South America, which is known as Colombia. Colombia had faced an economic downturn and political issues before achieving a positive growth of economy today. For the past 10 years, a few issues will be discussed such as political issue, economic issue, social issue, the involvement of IMF, financial crisis, and many more.
My name is Yanchen Yao and my matric number is 237478. This part is introduced about the economic and political environment in Colombia. So this chart is about the GDP of Colombia for the past 10 years. We can see it's rising from 286.1 billion in 2010 to 370 billion in 2019. An increase of 29.33%. So we can see the top it's in 2013, which is 381.9 billion, and the lowest one is 282.8 billion in 2016. The decrease in GDP is mainly caused by the drop in oil price and the devaluation of the Colombian peso. In Colombia, oil has always been the main exposure because it makes over 45% of the export of Colombia. And another is the producing of the domestic appliances, electronics, and construction materials makes up another 12% of Colombia's export. This makes Colombia becomes the second largest producer of electronics and appliances in Latin America. And for the political environment, many years ago, the Colombian government is being affected by the FARC, which is Armed Forces of Colombia. But 10 years before, many of the top leaders of FARC were killed and died. This caused the FARC join the peace process with Colombian government. So they starting to create a stable political environment of the economic growth of the country. Of course, the foreign investors hope to invest in a country with less exposure to political risk. So, looks everything is growing in Colombia.
Now, I will talk about the major financial crisis in Colombia. In 1998, Colombia faced a bank failure when bank institutions had a lower capital and liquidity. Banks could no longer provide their customers with loans. As a result, Colombia faced a recession and took a longer time to stabilize the economy. Colombia faced a global financial crisis that brought the country into inflation. In 2008, GDP of Colombia had declined, while there is an increase in poverty level as well as a higher level of unemployment rate. For investors, they had given up to its investment because there are unstable market during that time. To improve all the issues, Colombia had issued treasury bond and also received help from IMF to improve their economy. I will present about the involvement of IMF in Colombia. IMF played an important role to ensure that all the countries that are in need had funds. When Colombia faced an economic crisis in 1999, IMF came to rescue and guide Colombia to improve its economic growth. Besides, Colombia also sought help from IMF when the government decided to implement Plan Colombia and received $7.5 billion to finance all the expenses. Recently, coronavirus pandemic has shaken not only for Colombia but also all the countries all around the world, especially when the lockdown had been implemented. Due to that reason, Colombia asked for IMF help to fund not only for the terms of financial but also to accommodate all the patients that had been affected by the virus. As a result, IMF agreed to provide $10.8 million with 2-year credit times. Higher amount of debt and an unstable economic situations are the reason why Colombia asked help for IMF. Clearly that IMF had helped Colombia not only in the past but also in the present times.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Amira binti Abdul Wahid. My matric number is 255523. Colombia has a wide range of climate, which is hot and cold in a mountain area, which make them produce a wide variety of crops such as banana, coffee, fresh flowers, palm oil, rubber, and also soy. In 1920s, coffee production started to spread out through the country, and Eventually, it's become a major export goods for the Colombia. However, today, coffee only represents 3% of the all Colombia export. And the production of sugarcane, fresh flower, and bananas start to bloom in the past decades, and it's become a major export for the agribusiness in the Colombia. Colombia also rich in mineral, oil, and mining, which is all of these is one of the economy export for the Colombia. And in 1991, the oil replaced the coffee as a major export production, and roughly it represents half of the Colombia export. The manufacturing sector also has expanded greatly in a recent decade in the Colombia. For your information, in 2019, Colombia has ranked 4th based on their GDP for the South American country, and it's ranked 45 in the world. Their GDP growth have been very solid that underscore the economy for the Colombia in a positive direction. The GDP for the Colombia has risen from 1.2% in 2009 to 3.6% in 2019. And the unemployment rate for the Colombia also has decreased from 12% in 2009 to 9% in 2019. And economic growth for the Colombia has been steadily built in on the stable basis of the independent central bank, healthy current account, a stronger trade relation, and also the modernizing economy. Thank you. So let's talk about the political in Colombia. Unlike many other countries in Latin America, Colombia has not been troubled by the government military takeover. Of course, it has its own share of crime, but generally it has been between the different civil political parties. In Colombia, it consists of two dominant parties, which is the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party. And ironically, both parties link to the followers of the first president, which is the Simon Bolivar. The Conservative Party had Colombia to establish a powerful centralized government, and for the Liberal Party, it contributed to the political climate by separating the church and universal suffrage to the political landscape. In 1947, civil war happened between these two parties, which led to the amendment of the Constitutional in 1957 to pave the way for the reconciliation between them, which is also known as the Front National. In 1990s, three president candidates have been assassinated during their campaign, and many other attempts have been made that involve risk of their life. However, the election of the Cesar Gaviria in 1990 brought an opportunity for the political peace in Colombia. The new constitution has been right on the next year, which also known as Human Rights Constitution, which resulted the several guerrilla groups have been entered the scene of political in Colombia. The election of president in Colombia happen once every 4 years, and the latest president of Colombia right now is Ivan Duque, which from the Democratic Party, and he has won the election on the 2018. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nura Airi binti Rosli. My matric number 256195. I present about the regional crisis that happened in Colombia. In the middle 2015, Colombia have occurred with one of the regional crises, which is the migration of the Venezuelan into Colombia. This crisis happened because of the 3 Venezuelan soldiers has been shot at the Colombia border. Therefore, the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, have driven away all the Colombians who live at the border of Colombia-Venezuela. He also announced closure of the border, and this action has worried the Venezuelans. Many of them attempt to migrate to Colombia because of this issue, and it has been a larger migration record after thousands of Colombians been expelled. Because of this crisis, many families has been broke up, and this action taken by Maduro has been criticized by PBB of United Nations and European Union. However, this issue has been recurred after several of months when the Maduro reopened the border. After the reopening, many of Venezuelans attempt to migrate to neighboring Colombia because of the less food sources in Venezuela. All the migrants from Venezuela will get a legal status in Colombia and will receive a PEP visa to anyone who migrates before 29 November 2019.
About the impact of China's Belt and Road on Colombia, the first one is about the power or about the electricity. The shortage power supply happens often during the dry seasons of Colombia because of insufficient thermal power station, especially for residents who stay in the rural area. So there is a coal-fired power stations contracting project is starting create in Colombia. And the second one, because of the fight between FARC and the Colombia government, so many lands was be wasted. So the China planning about use the land to starting the plow and grow crops. So that will fix the food problems in Colombia. The third one is about the improvement of telecommunications infrastructure. Simply to say, it's the starting to create the 2G, 3G, 4G network, and also it's about internet. Makes them able to access the data in a much easier and faster ways.
I will continue my presentation with anti-money laundering and the geographic location that may pose high risk to do business in Colombia. First of all, we should know that anti-money laundering is a set of law or procedure to prevent criminals from negotiating funds in illegal work. In Colombia, they have an excellent ability to detect money laundering through the Financial Intelligence Unit in Colombia. They will examine usual financial transactions and report to detect whether the activity contains a criminal. In Colombia, also have a legislation to ban a gift or facilitation payment in their country. It is sometimes pose a major challenge for a business that work or intend to invest in Colombia. For geographic location, Inirida and Macau become a location that may pose high risk to do business because of their city have a lowest performance where they doesn't have one-stop shop for a business destination. By contrast, Cali has recently become a most corrupt and dysfunctional of a major urban center in Colombia.
The conclusion, we can see that the Colombia it's have a good development in these past times, and maybe it's be affected by the COVID-19. Everything is getting slow now, but that's the world problems. After this, the world working together, everything will become back to normal, and Colombia it will start again to growing.